wanna put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways.
I'm about to drop some hugely powerful alpha. And that's what they call it. They call it alpha, believe me. Okay? And not many people know this, but alpha means that I know big things, strong things, powerful things. So here's the alpha, folks. If you want to be hugely rich like me, you got to join and subscribe to the BLEEVESCRYPTO YouTube channel. You got to become a member because many people say, quite frankly, it's the strongest YouTube channel out there. It's fantastic. It's the best. So let me know what you think, folks. Funny Donald Duck.
I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 Lady, and I got my shine. Money in my pocket and we're feeling fine. Radio's loud and we're playing Sublime. I think it's gonna be a good day, my oh my. I can't believe I made it this far, it's a miracle. Floating in the clouds now, used to be miserable. Never looking back since I changed my ways. I'm on that good life tip today. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go there with me, girl. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Baby, we can have it all. We can make love by the waterfalls. I'm living that good life after all. Yeah. La da da da, good life, sitting by the fire. La da day, good life, feeling that breeze.
What is going on, everybody? New backer, who dis? I get some new backgrounds and stuff like that I'm gonna be playing with over the next couple days because I got another upgrade on everything that I'm doing, and I'm here today. First of all, to show this off just a little bit, just a tiny, just to show this thing off just a little bit, right? But also because it's time to talk about some of the market, and let's really try to figure out what we've got going on here. Because I said before we left on, I want to say, what was that day that comes before today? Oh, shit. Friday, or Friday, as they say, or as Rebecca Black says, Friday, gotta get down on Friday. You know what I'm talking about. You listen to it. Don't you fucking lie. Don't lie. But the question is going to be is what are we looking at? What's this market looking like? Well, volume is way down, right? So when the volume is way down, you have to ask the question. That's not the only thing going on with OKX, but I can't say any more for right now because the most believable man in crypto can't talk until the deal's done. But there's some what can only be described as shit going on between OKX and you never know. Something might be happening. You just never know. So, but let's get into what this market is looking like over this Easter weekend and Friday. You want to call it good. You want to call it Good Friday, but it's not a Good Friday unless crypto's pumping, right? We should at least be able to acknowledge that, right? So altcoin season, there has been some changes. Altcoin season 18. We're so far down into Bitcoin season that it's not even funny anymore. And we're not going to really talk about that too much, but the market has been just kind of idling sideways. We had a nice little pump overnight. Now the American market is here to steal away the liquidity and cry and go back to their corner and suck their own, let's call them thumbs. So nothing really happening out here. Bitcoin not moving, Ethereum not moving. They're just kind of idling. It looks like there's some move to the downside that's happened in the last hour. But we were at 1.146 and now 3 billion suddenly came out. because there's some opportunity here. Now, we're going to talk about that opportunity. There's 25 billion in trade volume and 1.18 trillion in market cap. So we're going to throw that away for right now. And we're going to come look at the charts. Now, this is the Dow Jones. And the reason that the Dow Jones is up on my charts, because a lot of you have looked around Twitter, you've looked around different different media sources, right? And what you've been looking for is answers. What's going on in your markets? What's going on everywhere? Nobody really knows. And the reason nobody really knows is because you get lied to constantly. These guys, they have no idea. And one of the biggest guys, right? One of the biggest people in all of this space is a guy named Robert Kiyosaki, and he wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? So we've got this, there's this Millionaire Investment Secrets website over here. Million followers or 257,000 followers, something like, it's a big website. But you scroll down here and you start to look through some of the content that they put out, and they're just outright lying to you, right? Here we go. This guy said market will crash 80% by the end of April 2023, but this will be once in a decade opportunity to become a millionaire. 1.8 million views, right? So the market will crash 80% by April of 2023. We're in April of 2023. So this market is going to have to go to almost zero at this point, right? This actually, in this video came out back in, back over here. So the market is actually up 15%. So this Robert Kiyosaki, said that the market was going to crash 80%, and this was going to be the opportunity to become a billionaire. So, and these are allegedly professional investors. And how allegedly professional are they? Well, in 2016, he endorsed Donald Trump for president. Does that make him a valid person that you would come to for advice? No, but it does show that, wait for it, that he's somebody who people are going to listen to because of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the book he wrote. And it's what rich parents tell their kids that poor and middle class parents don't tell their kids about how to use money, how to live off of money, et cetera, et cetera. And then he then wrote 2 books with Donald Trump from 2016 to 2020. So he is somebody, right? But at the end of this, not even close to right. And this is the guy we're listening to for advice. This is the guy we're pretending is a thought leader on investment. Now, look, investment is easy, right? Investment is easy if you just follow some principles. So a lot of times what I'm doing is the same thing. Like, I'm just giving you some principles of investment. Number one, don't invest more than you can afford to lose, right? It makes perfect sense. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Doesn't this look nice, by the way? Doesn't this, the new screens and stuff, now it doesn't lap over, but doesn't it look kind of nice? But don't invest more than you can afford to lose, right? Always buy the bottom. Always blah, 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 right? And we're all doing the same thing. So, you get these moments where you feel like these people are looking out for you. And the reason that you feel like that is because they're telling you what you want to hear. And you're looking for confirmation that what you think is right. So when you find somebody who confirms your bias, then you just lean into them, right? So here, some absolute failing news channels, Newsmax, OAN, completely and utterly failing channels, right? Then they embraced the people that support Donald Trump, and guess what? They had a nice pop because they confirmed the biases of those people. Now, it doesn't matter whether it was true or not. That's irrelevant. What is relevant, though, is there's a bias, right? And these biases, if we confirm those, then you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's exactly right. So that's what happened here. This guy came out and he said right here that it was going to happen. It didn't happen, not even close. And So, and you can, by the way, you can go down here, by the way, and we could probably say that a lot of this is clickbait, but here 40% crash is coming from Michael Burry. He didn't know what the fuck he was talking about either. And look, they're all, and it could be timing. We could still have a massive crash, right? But also, let's also remember, Michael Burry, if you don't know, that's the Wolf of Wall Street, right? And what did the Wolf of Wall Street say? I was wrong. And he did it by tweet not too long ago, because what he said was, what we're going to do is, what you should do right now is you should get out of Bitcoin because it's gonna crash. It's gonna get like disgusting. And thank you, Richie. 10 more memberships, handing them out to people in the chat right now. Xander Harris was gifted a membership. Gia Bassa, Dutch Cheese Cube, Pulse Chain, Richard Brisson, Tennessee Eco Man, Cajun Crypto, Lunk 210, Cache Cats, and Purple 303 were gifted memberships. So thank you very much for Richie. And by the way, if you haven't already, go check out the Lunk Dragons if you are a Luna Classic fan, because the Lunk Dragons are burning crypto for you and making it easier for your project Luna Classic to start mooning. So don't forget that. Now they do have to pay the developers, but there were some issues over the last couple of days, but I think they got them worked out right now. So Rich, if you want to put the link into the chat, then by all means, throw that link in the chat, and then people will have access to wherever they need to go. So, but anyway, now let's go look at charts and let's kind of figure out where crypto is. So we've got a total market cap right here of $1.142 trillion. And what are we looking at? Well, what we're looking at is that parabolic cycle curve, that we're looking at, that parabolic sort of curve that I've been telling you about for all this time, that we're just kind of running up like this. And when you run up like this, where does it go? Well, when you get to the third tier of the wave, which is where we are right now, you got 50% from that position, right? So 50% from, and we're going to call it the low end of this position so that I don't look like a fucking asshole. But that's about 2.15 right here. That's going to put us right in this range right here in pump. And it's not going to take that much longer. Now, we have to do a little bit of reasonable math and say, how long are we looking at here? Well, over here, roughly 63 days. How long was this consolidation? This was roughly 59 days. So we're getting an idea here that the consolidation is going to be for a while, right? And this over here would be 59 days, and that would end on May 13th. So we got about another month of consolidation if this is playing out the right way. Now, in the middle of that consolidation, we had a nice little dump right here. And then we had another pump, and then we had another dump, and then we had another pump, right? Because you do have to respect the 200 SMA. So we're coming back to this, and this is on the day chart, by the way. So when you see this kind of moving this way, just understand at some point we're coming back down here to test it before we mint new highs, and we'll probably test it one more time. So that's crypto does what crypto does, and investment does. And remember, by the way, when I say crypto, I'm not saying crypto, I'm saying the investors. And investors are predictable if you look in the past. The variables of investing always change and they always alter. There are different things that are involved, right? But generally speaking, investors are investors. So what can we expect to happen? Well, my biggest idea here was this was the perfect opportunity for the bears to come in and just absolutely wreck, right? So then the question is, how far down can it go? So we're going to look at Bitcoin first. We had this double top here, right? And really, if you consider this, we probably had almost a triple top. We had this double top going up, and now we have another double top, I want to say, but it doesn't really feel the same way. When you start to zoom around on it, you really didn't see the dump. You didn't see the consolidation. You didn't see the same sort of move. So this seems like a flash dump here in retrospect. So I don't think we've had the dump yet. I think we're due for a move down to this 200 weekly. The last time we moved was down to this 21 number. Maybe we moved down here to this 25.6, 25.7 number. Maybe even by that time it's 25.8 by the time it comes down. But then we bounce off of this 200, which, by the way, is about to cross over because again, these things are written in the stars, guys. The SMA is about to cross over here. So it's entirely possible that we're going to come down for a quick test at 25.6, 25.5, right? I'm still holding my ETH in the hopes that we're going to get a nice little pump because of the big move for Ethereum on this Shapella upgrade. So I think that the Shapella upgrade seems to me to be a moment in time where we should get a nice little run out of it for the next couple days, by the way. But this is gonna look, it's gonna collapse right afterwards. Even though a lot of people are saying that that we're gonna have a massive dump. I don't think that's the case, by the way, because some data did come out on Ethereum, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. So, but let's kind of pop this up here. So I don't agree that this is a double top, right? This is just a little bit of a correction from the Fed meeting. And I don't think it's the same. I mean, I know it is the same thing, but this took a lot longer to correct. So I don't think this is the same thing, right? I think this right here, this dump right here, this is what we're seeing right here. So this is just a move to the side, and then this is still coming, right? So if we consider, just to consider, and we're going to use some bar pattern just to be nerds and figure it out here. If we consider that right about here is where we are, and right about here is where we're going, then we can reasonably take this over here and say, well, if this is the continuation of this pattern, then where do we end up, right? And then you can see here, so this next move is going to cross. And guys, look, I don't make this shit up, right? I just recognize that there's a pattern, and this thing is going to hit right there, exactly where I just said, and it's going to cross over right where I just said, if this plays out that way, right? So there is a certain synergy. And then where is the lowest bounce point? The lowest bounce point is at the 200 SMA, but the 200 SMA is moving upwards. You can see the trend line has started to improve, and I'm going to move it up like this. And guess what? It's going to be close enough that we're going to call it a bounce off of the 200 SMA line. And I'm trying to be less aggressive, as you can see here by this little tail here. I'm trying to be a little bit less aggressive about where I'm putting it, because the symmetry tells me that, I mean, if we just kind of look at this and said, well, you know, it's going up this way, then it's probably going to cross over, right? So, and that goes into my old box over here, the support line right here, where it's going to bounce around, where it bounced around the last time. So, like, it all matches up. There's almost a perfect symmetry happening right now on the Bitcoin price chart. Now, that being taken into consideration would mean that if we bounce down and we do test this at this 25.6, 25.7 level, then the next move is going to be to the upside, and it's going to be 30,000. We're going to range around 30,000. We're going to fight 30,000. We're not going to be able to take 30,000. And then as we start to zoom in here, I want you guys to just pay attention to look at all the levels that I've created over time, right? This purple box right here, which let's take this purple box and let's turn it so that you can see it a little bit better for this purpose. We're going to turn it into orange, right? So you can see this orange right here, and this box is perfectly aligned with this move right here, with these moves right here, with this move right here, and then the green box perfectly aligns with all of this shit right here and all this shit right here. So the market is probably going to end up playing out a little differently than what we're seeing right now, but the symmetry on this is perfect, leading to a top of 34,677. Now, I said it's going to be more like 38,082, whatever fucking number I said. But this also, consider, is a different pattern playing out than the one that played out previously, but we don't really have, like, this move just came straight up, and then this is what happened. So then this one's coming up, and now we're just kind of looking at if it plays out the same way, then there we are. Does this kind of symmetry always play out? No, but it certainly looks like it right now. And can you make an argument that from 36 to 38 or 39 that there's a move there to be had, that maybe we get a little bit more? Well, then absolutely you can, because first of all, because I said so, and then secondly, because it just looks like that right now. I did something really because I am always looking for a pattern recognition. And I don't know how you guys are, and I don't know how you guys feel about pattern recognition, but pattern recognition is so important to me, right? And look at this pattern that we have right here. So I want to zoom in just a little bit, and I'm going to take you on a journey. I'm going to take you on a journey back. How far are we going back? Way back. So I'm going to try and make sure this is lined up perfectly. Now you see this is kind of lined up perfectly right here with the resistance point, right? Support and resistance right here. Support, support, support. And then we have this little chop right here to represent that there was something going on at that level because there's something to this line, right? Well, let's keep going back. Let's keep going back. Let's keep going back. It's disappeared. It's disappeared. It's disappeared. It's lost to time. It's lost to time. There's a line there. It's lost to time. And holy shit, this is a bounce. This is the low bounce on March 13 of 2020. This is the worst day. This was the collapse. This was COVID, right? But that's a long journey back for me to just find a spot to bounce off of with a couple more, right? But let's go back here and let's keep going and going and going. And now we're at, what are we at here? 1,100. We're at 1,000. We're at 900. We're at 800. Guys, all I did was a straight goddamn line, right? And then what do we find? Holy shit. Here we are at the end at $400 Bitcoin. Now we need to move this out so that it matches up to the end so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. But then let's go a step further because that's what we're doing. We're going to keep going. And guess what? This line, this trend line has played out right here. And I'm not even going to go further back than this, but it's played out since 2015 at least. So what does that mean? Nothing other than this is a valid sort of trend line that some kind of computer or program or some kind of algorithm out there that's doing trading is just recognizing this line right here long term as a reason. I mean, it's obviously this is human sentiment, and that's what we're trying to read, right? Is human sentiment. But still, like when we're looking at this, like this is a long-term trend line. So if you're looking for a dump or a place where we're probably going to spark a bounce, well, then if we're saying that this is correct, and we're saying that this is going to happen, this is going to go up, and then we're going to bounce, and it's going to be right there. So that's the Bitcoin craziness in a nutshell. Now, over the weekend, there should be, like, I'm feeling like, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but we should really recognize that the opportunity exists for an attack on crypto, right? This is the spot where if I were looking for a weakness in crypto in order to dump, right, I would be looking at right now. And the question would be, of course, how much have you made? Can you do it without it costing you anything? Can you, and remember, this is institutional, by the way. I'm not really talking about, like, we're not sitting here talking about a whole bunch of just guys with billions of dollars in their wallet. These are institutions. These are big companies, right? And they're looking to be as shrewd as they possibly can to get entry positions as best they possibly can into these markets. And when you look at these trend lines, when you look at where everything's going, like you see that there's still going to be dips, right? And I just feel like this is a moment of weakness, because when I go back over here and you see it again, $25 billion is the trade volume. That's horrible. So 25 billion trade volume in 24 hours means that everything is weak. And if everything's weak, then I would go after it. Like this is where I would be trying to wreck this. And by the way, if I end up being right about this, just throw money into the wallet in the description, because goddamn. But seriously, I do think that this is an opportunity for that wreck. Now, here's the other part. It also represents, and I'm going to give you some data here, because data do what data do. And we're going to look at what the longs and the shorts look like, right? So this in the last 5 minutes, the ratio in the last 24 hours is 50-50. I mean, it's always kind of 50-50. if I'm looking at it and trying to figure it out, it looks like it's going towards shorts, and yeah, 51% to 48%. So it does look like it's favoring shorts right now. So it looks like shorts have a little bit of leverage in the short term. So take the 24-hour period down here and start looking, and you really see 49s and 50s and 51s. So it looks like the shorts are setting themselves up. It's not clear though that there is an advantage. And by the way, if you haven't already, Dydex is the only decentralized exchange right now that I am aware of. And if you know of another one, fine. But Dydex, which just recently announced that they were leaving Canada, a decentralized exchange. This is crazy, by the way. The decentralized exchange is running out of Canada because of regulation. It's decentralized. That's a little bit odd. But Dydex is the only place that you can do like futures or at least derivatives trading on in DeFi right now. However, when I connect my wallet, perpetuals are not available to people or companies who are residents of or located, incorporated, or have a registered agent in a country, in a blocked country or restricted territory. More details can be found in our terms of use. So I can't do anything with this unless I use a VPN. And you know, this is there is futures trading over here, or let me rephrase that. There is trading that you can set orders on. So and there is there's up to 20x leverage on it. That's why you can't use it. But what I was looking for is I was looking for somewhere where I can set buy and sell orders that was decentralized instead of having to use like a futures and a leverage something rather. And by the way, you can use 1 inch. You can use 1 inch, but I'm not really a fan of 1 inch because it's very complicated. It's a pain in the ass to use. But anyway, so we're looking at it's kind of an opportune moment for the shorts to just come in here and start trying to wreck everything. If you look at the total liquidations, and we're looking for a 24-hour period. So let's pop a 24-hour up here on the radar. And here's the liquidation. These are low numbers, by the way. On the 24-hour here, you can see the liquidations that have happened over here. And it looks like it really favors, when you first look at it, you look at it, it really just favors 60% favors longs over here, 62%, 53%, 72%. These are the liquidations. So it looks like the shorts have been winning out, but in a couple of these, the shorts have been getting wrecked, right? Just because it's just such a small volume, right? But when there's such a small volume, there just seems to be this opportunity for you to just go in here and absolutely bash the living shit out of it. So I am going to admit I'm a little bit nervous about what the market's going to do, even with, and now we're going to talk about Ethereum. So even with Ethereum, which I think is, again, we're running to this yellow line right here. And I really feel like, and I have felt like that if Ethereum's got one more nice pump in it, and, you know, all it takes is 1, 2, 3 of these nice little candles. And let me show you what this looks like if we were to just consider, because I thought that what we would get is, I don't like that at all. Let's try that one more time. From here to here. Now, I was really thinking that we would get, between today and tomorrow, that we would get some of this stuff happening right now. And that we would probably get up into the 2006. And then we have the 11th where people would start dumping. And then we have the 12th where people would start dumping. But it was revealed that, and I want to say that it was, it could have even been Watcher Guru. I'm going to come over here real quick. I'm not prepared. I wasn't prepared for this. I just want to come on here and talk. SEC, no. Here we go. This article right here, it says, in the 8 days, Ethereum will go backward incompatible, blah, 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 blah. Why a big Ethereum sell-off is unlikely. So here's the issue, right? The anticipated increase in the supply of more than 2 billion is only 20% of ETH daily trading volume on average. So it may not be, but here's the percentage of stake supply that's in profit, 46%. Here's the percentage of stake supply in profit of 20% or more, only 28%. and removing liquid staking tokens in 20% profit. Like, so all of these are showing that there's no reason for people to sell, even though they have their Ethereum again. Most of the people are not even in profit, and the amount of profit is very small or nominal. Again, here it is right here. There's no reason, no legitimate reason for people to sell. These numbers are not favorable. So I do think that we're going to end up seeing a little bit longer that people are going to hodl. Now, here's the other part. That changes dramatically when this goes up 10%, which is the difference between where we are right now and where we could be up here. So that 10% does probably push this over 50% or closer to 50%. So there is the possibility, strong possibility, by the way, that something does happen. Okay. Also, you're starting to see a very weird in and out here. There are millions coming in and out of this market at moment notices. If we go look at like a 3 minute, or let's go look at a 1 minute chart, you can see there's a lot going on right here. There's a lot of capital coming in and out of the market, like just quick. We were at 3 million just a second ago. We were down 1.7 billion a few minutes ago. Now we're up 57 million. So there's a lot going on in this market right now, despite that we're not having a lot of trading volume, right? And I don't know why, but this thing has started to do this bullshit, which is really getting annoying. Oh my God. So anyway, moving out to this one so you can see it a little bit better. I mean, it's generally red, and I do think I'm on Heikinashi, so we're probably not getting a real fair look. No, we're on candles. So we're on the candles, showing that there's a lot of red in this market and a lot of money coming out while it's still staying at a pretty good level. If we turn on Heikinashi, then you're looking at the flow right now is into the positive. So yeah, we're in we're in a weird sort of state over the weekend. But again, this is a holiday. Whatever happens is basically what everybody's saying, I'm sure, right now. Again, looking at the 3 minute chart here, you can see we were at 1868, right in between. We had gone over, by the way, through the overnights because the European and the Asian markets were here. Well, actually, this is the Asian market. So just to give you guys a kind of a sample here, the Asian market wakes up around, this is right here. This is the Pacific Rim. This is Japan. This is Australia. This is that area on the globe. And then they come in, they're pumping. And then right here is where you see Korea also open up. But then you see China open up as well. And again, it's the weekend. So even if we're looking at our holiday weekend here in America, they're not looking at a holiday weekend. They're just looking at a weekend. So then you see it all of a sudden start to pump. Then we get right here, and this is where the India markets are opening up. And so you're moving up and away. Then you're getting to the Middle Eastern markets, and then you get to the European markets, and that's when at 3 o'clock. That's the European market openings right around here. So when people in Europe are getting up, and then it's been down ever since. So that's what you've been seeing is the Asian markets pumping crypto. European and US markets are dumping crypto. But again, I'm not even saying that these are people. Generally, you're looking at a lot of bot trading, or you're looking at people like us, DeFi trades, or people who are just, individual sort of investors, and not a huge supply just throwing money at it. So it's very different when we're talking about this kind of shit, right? So right now we're on a positive sort of move. But to call it positive, we really need to get back up here to some of this topping area right here. The top right now was 1880, and that happened at 1 a.m. So would like to see that happen. Would like to see a quick reversal. We're starting to see a little capital flowing back in, but again, it's just really too early to say that anything positive or good is happening. This blue shit is really starting to get on my nerves. So we'll see how that plays out. But again, I do think that Ethereum is ready for another run. I do think that we're going to start to see at some point, very, very, very soon, we're going to see a big candle start to spike on Ethereum as one last final run comes. And look how fast it can go, right? If we just consider this move right here, we went from, what is this, from 1864 to 1918. That's a lot in a very quick period of time. Then we consolidated for a second, and then we ran all the way up here. So if we do the same thing, based on where we are right now, we end up at the same place. We end up testing this 1941 one more time before the massive sell-off. Now, guys, I'm telling you right now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm telling you right now that I'm a moron, that I just do my best in crypto. I can't tell you what to do in cryptocurrency, but I can tell you this. If we touch any of this area right here, starting right here, my eyes are going to be peeled on just this trading. And I will 100% be selling when I get towards this blue line. If I start to see one time that it moves downward, you know, if it does a little bit of, it pops on this and it starts to come back down, I'm selling. Am I going to stay in here for 1941? No, I don't care about 1940. Now listen, I love the thought of buying the top. That's, you know, that's a romanticized version of how crypto works. I'm not looking to buy the top. I'm looking to buy the bottom, right? Like I'm looking to buy the bottom. And if I can get in on the bottom, then this is my top right here. You know what I mean? Like if I can get up a little bit, I can see it still continue to run. Okay, no problem. But the second it stops running, that's when I'm selling. And that's going to be my strategy, by the way. So I don't know what your strategy is going to be. I'm just trying to tell you guys what I am doing right now, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to move this over here just a little bit more, and then relock it, and then we're going to do the same thing over here. I want to relock this one and just say that this is where it's going to go. Now the question is, where's it going to go afterwards? And the answer to me is at least this is too high, right? So you got to kind of zoom out a little bit. Where's the moving average? Moving average way down here. So that 200 weekly is so far down that we couldn't possibly, oh shit, we've actually touched it in March, right? So this right here is where at least I think we're going to be heading right afterwards. So what I'm expecting is a move up here, then it starts coming down, 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 and somewhere around here, maybe 1478, and then we get a bounce, and then we're back on the move, right? I'm going to be looking at this. I'm going to be looking at this line right here, because you notice, by the way, that when I say that, we're actually hugging on the 200. We're actually hugging that line to begin with, which is a fairly decent support line that's lasted for about 6 months. So we happen to be on that line right now. So I do think that that's where it's going. So if you're asking me what you think on ETH, you don't like my moving candles? Ew, gross. Anyway, it was just, and matter of fact, I don't like the moving candles either. They were just very easy to make. So I made this. It took like I didn't decide that I was going to make this background until like 5 minutes before I went live. And then I was like, you know what I really want is I want some of that. I want the background to because I have live backgrounds now. So I wanted to have a little live background of a light going off or something like that in my backer. And then of course I can't control myself. And then I put it on the brand. But I mean, like, for example, if it's a distraction in the background, boom. Now all we've got over here is we got the Volt Studios. We got Shib Studios. We got the Blue Room. We've got a crypto chart over here. We've got Shib. We've got another Shib. We've got this crazy one back here. We've got another backer. We've got whatever you want. Wow, we got backers for your backers, and we've got backers for your backers on the backers. So, but we'll move to this one over here so that Husky doesn't get nervous. Yeah, perfect. So, and I want people to be looking at me. So, make sure that you know that I'm talking. So, again, so let's get back over here and let's start doing this. Be quiet, Chris. God damn it. So anyway, I do think that we're going to have a move, right? I think that the charts don't look favorable right now. This could be the start. Now, you can, by the way, this is opportunity. So if you're looking at doing some trading, then remember this purple line right here. Like this is your bounce. Like this is the area where it reverses. And what happened when it got down here? It reversed. Now, am I perfect on this? I don't think so. Like I think it's really just kind of in this range. Like even a short range is still a range, right? So it bounces down, and then what do you get? You get this big ass wick, and what does that big ass wick mean? It means you're moving up, right? So you went from, and look, I trade between 10 and 20 ETH on every one of my ETH trades, right? So from 1856 to 1862, that's $6. Okay. If I'm trading 20 ETH, that's $120. So less fees, which are going to be about 20 bucks a piece. That's about $80. And now you might be thinking like the risk is not even worth it. Well, it's not a risk when it's Ethereum, right? Ethereum is not going to go way down and never recover. Like we're not losing everything. Like this is Ethereum. This is not some random meme coin or anything like that, right? So you come down here, 1856, you sell up here at 1862, then you make 80 bucks, right? And then you consider this, I'm on a 5-minute chart right here. So this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So within an hour, I've made 80 bucks. Now, if I could successfully do that for 8 hours a day, then I'm making, what's that, $640 a day? $640 a day is good enough to live an okay life, right? I mean, like that wouldn't be horrible. It's not the worst. It's not the worst amount of money. And I'm not saying that, by the way, that's what's going to happen, because you need a way. Look, in order to do it, you need way more than 10 or 20 ETH to be doing swings like that. What you need is the long-term idea. You need the long-term idea of, listen, I'm in this area. I'm going to buy right here. And then it's going to run up to here. So if it does that, then I'm going to make a significant amount. But this is only a small fraction of my portfolio. I use too much of my portfolio on it. I use more than like 20% when I should be using like 1%. But I'm not rich like that, Like I didn't get that SHIB money. I didn't get that Saitama money. I made good, but not, so anyway. So I make that move right there, and I can hold that right there. But then I don't have a whole lot to do another 20 ETH trade for shorter time frames and stuff like that. So I'm not diversified in the way that one would hope. And we're seeing a reversal right now. Here we go. The price is coming down. So if we're witnessing the shorts dumping right now, that would be kind of hilarious. I mean, not in the, oh shit, where's my money going, range, but yeah. So and by the way, if we break that line here, then you have to consider that we're coming down to at least 1845. If we break that line, we're coming to 1841. And if we break that line, there is no support until you get to 1831 and then 1826. And by the way, those are small support areas. So, there is some downside right here to this to continue if they decide that they're going to start liquidating. And Jesus fucking Christ, is doing it again. I'm gonna figure out why this thing turns blue like this. Like, why is zooming in killing this thing? Like, it's crazy, right? There we go. So, and there we go. We're seeing a nice little push down. A bigger push down right now. The American market, being the weak-handed, paper-handed jeets that they are, selling. Again, probably, I don't know if this is the move, and I don't know if it's going to be defended, but this could be the move to continue trying to sell down and create that pressure for some downside, so that the better position is established. So, this is entirely possible. This is a lot of movement that you're seeing, but also, when you see a lot of movement like this going back up and down like it is, that oscillation right there is because you're looking at 5-minute charts. It's not because, like if you look at a 1-hour chart, you're not seeing nearly the amount of move. So I think that, for the moment, it'll be fine. But there is capital coming out of the market. So, we'll see. But let's move on for right now and get to SHIB. SHIB, as you can see right here, is also starting to wane just a little bit. I mean, you could probably, what is this? Not even 0.7%. Yeah, you can't do much here. But I would, now look, I've made this green channel. So this is going to be me at 10:15, 10:14 down here. I'm a buyer again because I know it's going to pump up here to 11:40 again, because it always does. And it keeps doing that. And you got to ask yourself, is it worth 13%? And how much is 13% of your portfolio? Also considering whatever your position is in anything else, right? So can you take a loss? Can you do whatever to move over into SHIB for another big ride? Because when you start to come, you start to pull out here, when's the last time SHIB went to 1150? Well, it was the beginning of April when I said it was going to, right? Because I was talking to you guys about this before, and I said, we're going to have a breakout here. It's going to come some way. If it does, it's likely going to go to 1150. Hopefully by the end of the month, you're going to get up here in the 1254 range. But that's probably going to be the max for the month. And what's happening right now? Well, we've already accomplished one of the goals. Now, hopefully, the other goal right here is going to be, and by the way, we should at least consider this if you're SHIB, right? Consider that if you get down to 1015, then I'm saying that this is going to happen, right? So what is the return on that move? So that move right there is 23%. So could you afford 23% on your portfolio if that dump happens, right? So that could, again, it's at some point we're going to get an announcement. Now also 966. I've been stubborn, by the way, before adding to SHIB, because I've been waiting for this move down here, but I haven't seen it. So now I'm just kind of idling in that position and not really making the biggest of moves. So that's what's going on right there. Bone needs, look, Bone is very simple. If you're looking for a pattern, then the pattern that you see is, let's go to the disjoint channel and down here and here. And that's really what it looks like. And I use the disjointed because it's easier to just kind of show you that way. But if you look at it like this, it's really forming that bull flag. And that bull flag is coming from the downside. So it looks like there's more downside to Bone. So I would be playing this with the idea and the understanding that there's probably some significant downside still. Maybe we'll even see another 93-cent Bone before this is all said and done. The longer SHIB is quiet, the more people are going to move out of it. Now, that also it should also be noted that if you're looking at SHIB, that SHIB had 375, some whale bought a gigantic amount over the last couple of days. Let me go to the article. In case you wonder if I do this shit all day. Yeah. Here we go. And this just came out yesterday. ETH whale buys 378.74 billion SHIB in just 3 days. So somebody who's an Ethereum whale is accumulating a giant amount. Look, everybody is expecting something to happen. And if you're told, do what the whales do, right? Well, this is what the whale's doing. The whale right now is accumulating a massive amount of SHIB at this point. Why? And, to be fair, like if you just consider where we are and where we've been over the last couple of days, this move right here, 14%. Again, I'm telling you that we're going here for sure, right? So what's 14% on $1 million? $140,000, right? So if you're putting and you're buying just a gigantic amount, 100, 200,000, something like that. That's, every 100,000 is 14,000 at 14%. There's a significant amount that whales are going to be making off of these plays. So if it's do what the whales do, then do what the whales do. Yeah. So, and I'm also waiting for that. Yeah. So that's me too. But Lando, I think that the dump right now is right here because look, I can't stress anymore that this channel has been pretty faithful for right now. Now there is the possibility that it breaks down, but the breakdown also, we have to consider this, that for a long time on this breakdown, we at least get back up here to 1,500. We get up here to 1,700. And that's not even considering some of the bigger moves that have happened Now, the possibility does exist that it can go down here. I don't think so, because that's the bottom, and we're not at the bottom anymore. The other bottom over here is similar to this one, and I don't think we're at the bottom anymore. I think that the bottom is probably represented by this yellow line right here. I do think that that represents the absolute bottom right now on this chart. So I need to come up with an idea here. Like one of these levels has to be like, this is going to be the bottom right here. And then let's make it a little 3. Okay, so that's the bottom right there. And I think we're as close to the bottom, or relatively speaking, as close to the bottom as we can get. And then, if we at least look at it and we say that the high recently over here is, I think it's 2000, right? So let's get 1794. So what's the bounce from now to 1794? That's going to be 64% bounce with the release of Shibarium. So where is it from? This 1009 down here, that's 77%. Imagine throwing 100 grand at it at that level, knowing that, as soon as we get an announcement on Shibarium that the whales are going to start pumping this thing to 1794, or maybe even higher. You never really know, but you do know this, that you're about at the bottom. So there's immediate risk. There's immediate problems. But again, 200 SMA is sitting right here at 1060. So if you bounce off of that, you probably bounce a little bit hard, right? Maybe. Then you've got this the 50 SMA, which, by the way, acts as support and resistance constantly for this project. So it's acting as resistance right now. If it gets flipped to support, and if it becomes support, then you probably look at a more bullish sort of move. This right here, you see, this happened so quickly that you didn't really get an opportunity to get the SMAs and the to cross over the right way. And by the time they did, you were on your way back down. But now, because of all of this bearish pressure, now the 200 SMA and the 50 SMA are a lot more helpful in letting you determine what's going on with it. And you can see right here, it's just, it's literally trending right in the middle of it. So if it flips it, then it's going to be bearish, right? So if this continues, then we're looking at, this 1017, we're looking at this 968 maybe, but then that's going to be a significant and violent bounce back up. So I can assure you this, like if in the event that this happens and it comes down here, I will liquidate almost everything I have to buy the SHIB dip, because I understand the amount that you can make in a short period of time just by a significant bounce. It would certainly pay the fees to exit every single position and consolidate everything to make that move, because SHIB does have big moves and Shibarium is not that far away. So it'd be worth it. So, by the way, when I say that, I guess I should preface that with saying, yeah, so there is no chance in hell that I'm selling my vault. But, other stuff is going to be fair game. So, but that's an opportunity. Like you only get so many opportunities to really just get one of those, the big time runs. Like, here's the thing. What if you could throw 50 grand right here and make 70% up here, right? What if you could do that, right? It's $85,000 when you cash out. So then you put your 50 back wherever you had your 50, and then you got $35,000 more, right? Change your life. This is your investment, your cryptocurrency adventure, your my crypto journey, like Rodney says, is all about you. It's not about this project. It's not about any other project. It's about you. How can you change your life? So if you have that opportunity, do it. Don't hesitate. And also, don't put yourself in a situation where you find the top up here. Like, don't FOMO in up at the top saying, it's going to keep going, bro. Find your position, enter your position, and then just wait and have a little patience, and then let it go. And remember, the bear market's over. We did enough losing money in the bear market. We don't need to do that anymore. Now it's the bull market. We're at least at the start. We're at least, well, put it this way, we're probably not going to see newer lows. And if that's the case, then we want to make a big move, right? So how do we do that? buy the bottom or as close to the bottom as you can get and just hold on for dear life. Matter of fact, if you haven't watched it, and it is absolutely fascinating. Um, Raul Paul is, a long-term investor. He's been a big time investor for a lot of years. And you know what he says? He says, I have never made more money than when I just bought the bottom and held for a long time. I've never made more money than when I did that. I can swing trade, I can day trade, I can scalp all I want, but that's not where I made the money. The place that I made the money is by just throwing my capital at something and hodling it. That was it. That's how you make the gigantic money, right? So when you ask me, or if anybody asks me, why don't I sell Volt? That's why, because I do have a lot of faith in the Volt project. I think that the Volt project is going to absolutely moon and just absolutely crush. So, and I think the time is I don't think the time is here yet. I think in 9 days, we're going to have a nice move. I think in May, we're going to have another nice move, but we're not in the bull market. So it's going to be subdued. It's not going to be the big move. It's basically going to be take an Apple level, right? Take an Apple on April 17. Hold on to that Apple and do it again on May 7 or May 8th or whenever the run is over, because there's going to be a run. So just consider that when you're doing it, because that's what I'm going to be doing, right? And like Richard Nelson says right here, would love to see a 100x on Volt over the next year or so. I don't know if it goes 100x. I know that I would feel comfortable, because you have to look at the market cap and you have to be realistic as of right now. And the market cap probably doesn't support more than 5 or 10x at this point. You would have to be a centralized exchange with a DeFi exchange and a blockchain to get up into the stratosphere of where you want to be. And let's just so everybody, here's me right here. There we go. This is me on the right here. I have 8,396. This goddamn thing is not working for some reason. But I have 8.396 billion. So and by the way, I had 7 originally. So if I ever sell, I'm going to sell 1.396 billion. But to be fair, if I did that right now, I think that's like 1 ETH or like 1 or 2 ETH. So I'm going to wait for it to like 5x or something like that and make it worth my while. Make it, I want that to be $10,000, because then I'm still holding a gigantic bag. And then I'll have a little bit more money for my futures trading, which, by the way, let's go look at that and let's see how it's doing, because it was up a little bit today. And I did think, like, now that it's at 1880 or something like that, maybe I should just go ahead and sell. But then if I did that, then I wouldn't have any belief in what I was saying. So now I'm down $15 and down 3%, because we are getting it right now. Okay, here we go. We are getting some pressure right now, and we're getting some dumping. So here we go. The attack on ETH is here. And the attack on crypto is underway. Again, I mean, if it, like I said, if it happens while we're sitting here talking about it, then holy shit, I'm a genius. But this is the moment where it looks like an attack on crypto should come, right? It's middle of the day. That America is a bunch of weak-handed hoes. They're paper-handed jeets. They have no backbone at this point. And it doesn't mean that, by the way, that American investors are not going to be the elite investors in all of crypto or anything like that. We're talking about right now. Right now, they're weak. And they're crybabies, and they whine a lot, and they're like, "Wait, Jerome Powell said this," and so you have to consider that when you're watching what's going on here, right? So that's what you're kind of looking at here, and it's not, again, there's nothing against the American investors in the long term, but you are what you are right now. If you're institutional, especially, you are a paper-handed hoe. Right? You are the guy that everybody points and laugh at when you're at the World Economic Forum. You're the guy who's wearing the Metallica t-shirt in the suit full of business executives. You know what I mean? Like you're that guy. You're Jay. You're not Silent Bob. You know what I mean? You're standing here singing and shit instead of just standing there just doing your thing. But that's just what America is right now at this moment. It will all change soon when the markets start to stabilize. Not that the markets are, I mean, the markets are still doing well, but when the markets really start to stabilize and we start to get another pump going, that's when things will start to change. But so we've got so there is a fight, it looks like, going on. But I mean, Jesus Christ, we fucking called it right here. We were up. Remember, we were up 50 million just a few minutes ago, and it went up to like 400 million, and now we're down 1.7 billion dollars. So the attack on crypto has commenced. Don't know how far down this goes. Don't know where it goes. We're going to guess at this point, but I would guess somewhere down here in this 1.133 trillion, maybe in this 1.36 trillion. Bitcoin, by the way, is still up on the day. So when I say this, you got to remember that's ridiculous. What's going on at 150p? And here's the thing. This is manipulation. How is it manipulation? It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon in New York. It's not time for the Asian markets to be up. It's not time for, I mean, Europe is late night. So for a giant coordinated attack on cryptocurrency to try to pull down a bunch of money and stuff like that, this is only done through institutions. So this is just another example of the institutions emptying, taking profits so that they can do whatever their next step is. So now we're down to about 3 billion. And it's just continuing. The sell-off is becoming epic right now. They're dumping because they want you to dump, by the way. This is so they can get you to dump, because now you have a bunch of people who bought in a few days ago down here in this area right here. They want to get you to sell. These guys over here, they want to get you to sell. These guys down here, they want to get you to sell. They want everybody down here selling so that they can get that position that you had before. So here we go. God damn it, I hate being right. Like, we literally dedicated a thread to me talking about, so they're going to dump at some point, and now they're doing it right now. Bitches. But also, thank you. Absolutely proves the point. So now, here is what I expect to happen, okay? So we're going to have a dump. We're going to have some people settling in. We're going to start to test some positions. Now, let's go look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour is a good one to test, right? So we probably got a little more dip coming in the market because you can see the variance here between the 200 and where we end up. Now, we should touch this, which means that ETH should bounce off of 846.55. Bitcoin going to do the same? Bitcoin's down here, so it's testing its long-term resistance. Now, if that's the case, and Bitcoin is the leader, quote unquote, in charge, so to speak, then that means that we're going to get a strong bounce off of this position right here, and you'll see like a nice little wick happening down here, and then we'll start to see a big move towards the upside. Now, if that's the case. If that's not the case, then we have to consider where else we're going to go down. We're under the 50, we're under the 200, but we've trended, unless it breaks, we've trended pretty well. It's going to take a significant amount of dumping, and this is an opportunity, by the way. So it's going to take a significant amount of dumping, which we're not really seeing yet, in order to affect it and then get it down here. But 27,151, still a great position. And again, still going to result in a big bounce. But again, I don't think that this is the time yet. We're at, well, you know what? Maybe it is. Let's go back here to the number of days that we're in this channel. So we're in this channel for about 22 days. So yeah, it could be that we've had enough time in here, because the last time we got the big dump was about 20 days. So yeah, it could be that we're running another crypto scam, dog. So 1852 touching there, maybe. Let's look at the 4 hour, because I mean, look, if we're doing anything, we're doing it on the 4 hour, right? So the 4 hours giving us this, and we're still way up on the 200, and maybe we pop back up here to 28, 180, 165 as a resistance point. So maybe there's going to be a reversal coming in pretty quick because we do seem to be at the bounce spot. Ethereum on the 4-hour. So we're bouncing off of the 50. And if we're bouncing off of the 50, then the last time we did it, we went to 1880. So this is going to could be another little bounce here. What we're looking at is trying to get into that 1890 realm and then beyond. So taking another run at 1942 before we get over here. So there we are. All right. So I guess that's kind of it for right now. Let's go look at Volt doing the same thing. Volt is on that triple bottom right now. So you can see 1, 2, and then 3. So we're on the triple bottom. We're just waiting for that reversal. The reversal is not going to come until we get the announcement. The announcement's not going to be here until the 17th. So it is entirely possible that this line breaks unless Voltoshi comes out with something big that moves the needle. Then we could see a little bit more downside before we have any sort of breakout. So that could be what's happening on Volt. So let's take that and let's go over here to Wiz Protocol 2467, having a nice little move towards the upside, but only 1.16 in volume. So when I say that, it's more likely a pairing or something like that, or a lack of trading. It's just kind of sitting upwards. Ordinal Doge 4029, $257,000 in volume, still a $2 million market cap. Probably needs another pump. Like if it doesn't get a pump, then it's dead in the water. People are going to give up on this at some point pretty soon. However, it has made a few moves to keep itself in the public sphere, and it's trading $257,000 on Uniswap. So it's not dead by any means. Cato, content coming out for Cato on Monday and 1391 currently, 3931 on MetaMonkey. WAGMI 6064 still idling. They're talking a big game, but I mean, at some point it has to launch, and we have to actually see people start to engage with it and start to play with it. There is, in fact, if you do not know, and this is going to be massive, I should probably zoom everybody in on this one because this is going to be crazy, right? And that's not it. Human Emperor is going to be the talk of the party. Here we go, right here. Calling for all NFT NYC attendees. OKX is thrilled to announce that we are hosting a party with Digital Nomads and Monarch IO in partnership with Alchemy Pay, Paraspace NFT, Outland, D-Box Social, WAGMI Games, and Spawn Global. OKX is doing Skytop NYC featuring Monarch. So Digital Nomads, I don't know who that is. I don't know who Monarch is. Private network for the elite creative shaping the next generation. Something big. But we've got Alchemy Pay with 209,000 followers, Paraspace with 100,000 followers, Outland Design, I guess, 93 followers, D-Box Social, 100,000 followers, WAGMI Games, 18,000 followers. Who stands to gain the most from this? Absolutely WAGMI. But also in the middle of that, but this is Scott Herman is walking around wearing this suit today, by the way. And then you come down here and you see that somewhere or other there is a and here you have the blonde broker and Scott Herman doing an interview. Then you have Ashley Decan, and she's interviewing Ian Bentley. And, here we are. ESPN Global is going to be having the ESPL. There we go. ESPL Global is going to be having a tournament for WAGMI coming up very soon. They're integrating themselves and pushing themselves into a lot of different little spheres. And this is going to end pretty well for them. It's really going to end pretty well. And the Bornless, it's a horror MMO game. We're going to follow that. It's an FPS horror game named the Unreal, closed alpha running right now. Keep it unholy. I'm there for that. All right. So, but anyway, WAGMI Games having a nice little return. Hopefully, a nice little turnaround. Again, I told you guys I think it's going to run up here and still continue to just kind of test this line on the way up until it starts mass adopting. So, but keep going. Decanect up 1%. Terra Luna Terrarium at 3108. A little sell off after this little pump up here to 32. Bone 106, Saitama 1711. Only 25,000 in volume for the Saitama. 49.82 on Lillian, 34.15 on Floki. Ordinal Doge we already talked about. Wait, massive sell-off on Ordinal Doge in the last few minutes, right? Nope. It's just that some, oh, it is. Yeah, a couple of ETH sell right here. All right, so whatever. SHIB 1081, Hex 6863, Volt 1391, BRL 7327, and then NGN 4779. Seems to be a lot of people just kind of holding on for dear life at this point, just waiting to see which way the wind blows in crypto. So we'll see what happens, guys. But I just want to touch in and tell you what I thought about the markets right now, where everything's going. And I mean, we'll see what happens here. But I do think that there's more downside coming. And then I think we're going to have a big pump. I do think it's going to correspond within the next. This is going to happen very quickly and very violently, in my opinion. And we're going to see a big run off of Ethereum before it starts to sell off because of the Shapella upgrade. So it's not financial advice, but it believes I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. You have no idea how much it means to me that you take the time out of your day to come check me out when I'm out here ranting and going crazy on this cryptocurrency space. And so yeah, that's it. Stay volted, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Whoa, another shot of the bullet. Loaded, got complex, cocking and pulling. That bottleneck look like the Loch Ness. What are we doing? I'm about to fall out, boy, in the proofs and the pudding. So, can we forget about the things I said when I was drunk? I ain't mean to call you that.